Hello viewers, it is that time again when we meet on Crime and Road Safety Watch. Elliot Kudzai Ganyani is my name. Well, this is a program that is proudly brought to you by your police service, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, in order to cement police-public partnerships in combating crime. It is always an extraordinary privilege to have you along. We start off with a story in Mashonaland Central Province, where police has intensified efforts aimed at evicting everyone who is involved in illegal activities in Mazoe area in Mashonaland Central Province. In this regard, the ZRP confirms that the government, through the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development, recently issued an eviction notice and order for all illegal occupiers of mining sites who are causing destruction of land and vegetation and those engaged in criminal acts to vacate Mazoe Mine List 35, which covers areas near ZRP Mazoe up to concession, with the effect from the 6th of July 2024 to the 13th of July 2024. The Zimbabwe Republic Police therefore takes this opportunity to warn illegal occupants of mining sites and those perpetuating criminal activities to take heed of this notice and vacate or leave the indicated areas by the given period. Police will ensure the law takes its course on anyone who would defy the government's directive or commits criminal activities under the guise of mining syndicates or groups. The public is implored to cooperate with police officers as they move in to maintain law and order. Moving on, the Zimbabwe Republic Police is investigating a robbery case which occurred on the 6th of July 2024 at about 01:20 hours in the morning in Kanengoni village under Chief Negomo in Chiweshe. 3 suspects who were wearing face masks stormed into a house where the men handled the complainant and ransacked the house. They eventually got away with 6,500 United States dollars and 85 grams of gold, a satchel and a medium-sized speaker. The trio is still at large, and anyone with information that can help in locating these suspects can contact any nearest police establishment or contact us on our National Complaints Desk number 0242 703 631. Talking of robbery cases, 11 robbers invaded a house in Gwanda. Men handled the occupants, including the owners of the house, as well as the head boy. They got away with 3 vehicles and other property. Detectives in Gwanda got wind of this criminal act, carried out thorough investigations, and have so far apprehended 4 of these marauding criminals. Member in charge Criminal Investigations Department Gwanda speaks on this.
CID Gwanda detectives arrested 4 men for robbery, others in Matebeleni South. What happened is the men hatched a plan in Bulawayo and hired a vehicle, Mazda B 2022, traveled to Kezi, Mapisa, Sanetseng, where they broke into the complainant's homestead. They entered the house, assaulted the complainant. They then tied her. They also assaulted the head boy, tied his hands using cable ties, ransacked around the house. They took various household properties, including solar batteries, hi-fis, TVs, decoders, and cash amounting to 21,000 South African rands. They then took the keys of the motor vehicles belonging to the complainant, drove away with the household goods in the motor vehicles they'd stolen. Detectives then made some follow-ups, and a few days later, they managed to arrest 4 of the robbers. They then recovered the motor vehicles. Property which was stolen is worth 24,000 US dollars plus 21,000 South African rands, and property worth 23,000 was recovered.
Meanwhile, the Criminal Investigation Department in Gwanda also accounted for another robbery syndicate after they committed a robbery act at a mine in Gwanda.
CID detectives from Gwanda arrested 2 accused persons who were committing crimes of unlawful entry and theft. The 2 accused persons were on a rampage, stealing various mining equipment, including jigsaw crushers, generators, alternators, and other mining equipment and accessories. The detectives would like to thank the Community of Gwanda it was through their efforts that we were able to recover the property, which was worth $3,000 US from a total value of stolen property of $5,000.
We are taking a short breather. We will be right back. It is the second segment of Crime and Road Safety Watch. I must say thank you very much for staying tuned. While government is making frantic efforts in order to end drug and substance abuse, it is disturbing that some people continue to peddle illicit drug dealings. Police in Midlands Province recently apprehended a syndicate of 3 who were involved in cultivation of dagga. The arrested are Brian Kurua, a male adult aged 30, Tokmo Muzondiwa, a female aged 30, and Charlotte Magigani, a female aged 32. The arrest of the trio comes after police gathered intelligence to the effect that some villagers were dealing in dangerous drugs and cultivating dagga along Shishi riverbanks in village Kurua in Gokwe. One of the suspects, Brian Kurua, was caught red-handed while watering a plantation of dagga. 65 plants of dagga were uprooted. He assisted police to the arrest of Tokmo Muzondiwa, who was found with a 50 kg sack full of dagga at her house. Further investigation led to the arrest of Charlotte Magigani. More loose dagga, which was stashed in 3 by 40 kg sacks, was seized. Joseph Kuwara, aged 43, whose husband to one of the accused persons, mobilized other villagers to fight the police officers, but did not succeed, and police managed to successfully effect arrests. Police can confirm that the 3 appeared before the court and were convicted and sentenced as follows. Brian Kurua was convicted and sentenced to 4 years imprisonment, Tokmo Muzondiwa to 24 months imprisonment, and Charlotte Magigani to an effective 3 years imprisonment. Talking of drug and substance abuse, the Commissioner General of Police Tandabantu Godwin Matanga bemoaned child delinquencies and implored on teachers and schools authorities to guide learners against such malpractices. He said this at a handover event of information technology gadgets for the ZRP boarding high school staff, where he was the guest of honor.
It would be grossly remiss for me, in my capacity as the Commissioner General of Police and as a concerned parent, not to articulate the challenges posed by drug and substance abuse, particularly for our youth. Statistics on drug arrests from 1 January to 10 May 2024 showed that 82.4% of the total of 7,834 arrested persons are aged 35 years and below. This population group is the lifeblood of any nation, and having it ensnared in drugs is a serious threat to both the security and the continuity of the state. It is a fact that success in the war against drugs requires a multi-sectoral approach, but teachers, in my view, play an integral part. Teachers not only have a noble but sacred vocation, molding and carving young, impressionable minds. You are role models. Students' attitude and personalities will subconsciously gravitate towards the attributes you mirror. Therefore, this strong bond between the teacher and the student must prod the teacher to carry themselves with dignity and continuously inspire students to be better. I challenge you, therefore, to reaffirm the bold stance against drug and substance abuse so that our children are safe from this stage.
We say no to drug and substance abuse. Let us harness energies and collectively fight this cancer which threatens our young generation, fathers, brothers, sisters, and mothers alike. From that story, we now move on to road safety issues with the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe.
Today on the road safety segment, we are discussing children's safety, especially when traveling in a vehicle as passengers. Now, the usual question that is mostly asked is, which one is the safest place for children to sit in a vehicle? It is important to understand that as children are traveling, the safest place to sit are the rear seats. These provide the most protection in the event of a collision, as the rear seats are the furthest from impact zones. Children under the age of 10 are required to sit at the back seat, and babies are required to be put in child safety seats. As a parent wanting your child to board a vehicle, there is a place that you should allow your child to board a vehicle from. A child is allowed to board a vehicle from the pavement or the curbside, away from traffic. And this is usually the left side of the vehicle. The assumption is that when a driver wants to carry passengers in his vehicle, he will move off the road and park close to the pavement, where passengers are allowed to be standing in order for them to get into the vehicle. This is done to protect passengers from being hit by moving vehicles. Further to that, we also do this to ensure that there is smooth flow of traffic by not disturbing the other vehicles that will be using that road. To prevent children from opening doors and windows while the car is in motion, you can utilize child safety locks that physically restricts access to the controls by keeping your child safely inside. It is important to understand that children sometimes learn from observing, and they observe the behavior of their parents while they are passengers or while they are driving, which is why it is important to act right and be road safety conscious. It is also important to consistently reinforce passenger safety rules for them to emulate and learn. To buttress this, at Traffic Safety Council Zimbabwe, we have traffic training centers where children are taught road safety. We encourage parents to take their children to these traffic training centers where they will be taught road safety from experts. Because they are children, they sometimes learn from games, from songs, from drama, etc. So it is encouraged that as a parent, you should engage in these activities and ensuring that your child is learning road safety in a fun and interesting way. When traveling with a child with special needs or a child with medical conditions, we advise that before traveling, you consult the child's doctor or healthcare to ensure proper seating, restraint systems, and any additional safety measures that may be required. The doctors may recommend specialized car seats or vehicle modifications where necessary. We also encourage parents to teach their children the importance of wearing seat belts, the importance of sitting instead of standing while the vehicle is in motion. Now, when traveling in a pickup truck or a lorry, you are encouraged to sit down flat with your back against the cab. Do not sit on the built-up sides. Avoid sitting on top of the load in a vehicle. You should avoid sitting with your legs dangling down the back or over the sides. And lastly, avoid standing while the vehicle is in motion. As Traffic Safety Council Zimbabwe, we encourage parents to be road safety champions, championing proper road use and road safety.
From that story, we are taking a short breather. Do not move an inch. We will be right back. It is the third and final segment of Crime and Road Safety Watch. Thank you for staying with us. This past week, the ZRP confirmed the arrest of 5 people in connection with a case of aggravated indecent assault, which happened at Mupfuri village in Wedza. The 5 recorded the assault act and the video went viral on social media platforms. Police quickly moved in and apprehended the 5 suspects that are Vimbai Mike, aged 19, Rudo Manjere, aged 17, Lily Rose Munyoro, aged 16, Lilian Chido Munyoro, aged 17, and Sandra Vumbunu, aged 17. Initial police investigations revealed that on the 4th of July 2024, at around 1100 hours, the 5 lured the victim to one of the accused's place of residence, where they stripped her of her clothes and took turns to severely assault her. They also inserted 3 sticks into the victim's private parts while recording the video. The victim fell unconscious, to which the merciless women poured her some water, resulting in the victim regaining consciousness. They set her free at about 1500 hours the same day. Police also seized a Vivo mobile phone which was used to record the assault incident. Meanwhile, Vimbai Mike, aged 19, is in police custody, while the other 4 suspects, who are juveniles, were released into the custody of their parents. The 5 are appearing in court, and members of the public who will be kept abreast regard this disturbing story. Police assures the public that the law will take its course without fear or favor. The Zimbabwe Republic Police is concerned about murder cases that are happening around the country. In one of the cases, police is investigating a murder case and suspected suicide case which occurred on the 5th of July 2024 at around 1500 hours near Maldon compound Chakari in Chegutu. Circumstances are that the suspect, Watson Musika, aged 40, fatally struck his ex-wife with an axe on the neck, shoulder and on the head in a bush. He later consumed suspected cyanide and was found dead in a kitchen at his residence. In another one, police in Mashonaland West Province is investigating another murder case which happened in Karoi, where a lifeless body of a 16-year-old girl was found near a bush adjacent to Gremlin Farm, Karoi, on the 4th of July 2024. The victim had been missing since the 18th of March 2024. Life is sacrosanct. We therefore need to respect the sanctity of human life. It is therefore important for us to consider amicable and peaceful ways of resolving disputes instead of resorting to violence. Moving on, the Zimbabwe Republic Police works with various stakeholders with the primary objective of fighting crime. This past week, the organization conducted a 3-day workshop in partnership with United Nations Office on Drugs and Substances, which ran from the 9th to the 11th of July 2024. The workshop was meant to capacitate participants with requisite knowledge and skills aimed at curbing smuggling of migrants and trafficking in persons. Chief Staff Officer Training and Development in the ZRP, Commissioner Wanda Tembo, presided over the opening of this workshop as the guest of honor.
Trafficking in persons is modern day slavery, which is an outrage to our foundational values, equality, and the unalienable right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It erodes communities and undermines national security. Millions of people are exploited within and across borders. They are forced to work in factories for little or no pay, harvest crops, toil in terrible conditions in mines, construction sites, and fishing boats, as well as in private homes. This is after they are dubbed into believing that greener pastures or opportunities exist elsewhere. I'm glad that this workshop is its own uniqueness in that it brings together experts from different departments, that is the Department of Immigration, the Zimbabwe Public Police, and the National Prosecuting Authority. Therefore, our partnership must be broad enough to reach and include diverse groups as well as marginalized communities.
Meanwhile, one of the facilitators at the workshop spoke on behalf of our United Nations Office on Drugs and Substances.
Trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants are synonymous with multi-dimensional threats to humanity, which include, amongst others, deprivation of human rights and freedoms, global health risk, prompting organized crimes, and undermining of global safety and security. To make matters worse, human trafficking and smuggling of migrants have devastating impact on individual victims who often suffer physical and emotional abuse, rape, threats against self and family, passport theft, and even death. It's further disheartening to note that trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants have been commercialized and transformed into lucrative illicit business with well-established value chain which includes recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, and sexual and labor exploitation. These heinous crimes have taken root in our society, and the challenge is upon us individually, severally, collectively, to stand up, unite, and adopt common ground to unwaveringly fight and combat them. The challenge therefore lies for all countries, richer or poorer, is to target, to detect, arrest, and prosecute the criminals who exploit vulnerable people, including through effective international cooperation.
We now move on to people who are on the police wanted list. ZRP Mutare Rural is looking for Tendai Chikonzo of Manyera Village, Bema Valley, in connection with a rape case. Remember, Zumbira of Manyengavana Village, Chief Zimunya in Mutare, is wanted by Mutare Rural Police in connection with a robbery case. Lastly, Mutare Rural Police is also looking for Solomon Mbendero for a rape case. Should you have information that may help in locating any of these wanted people, please feel free to visit or contact any nearest police establishment. Alternatively, you can link with us on any of the following details. Our National Complaints Desk number is 0242 703 631. You can visit our website www.zrp.gov.zw. Link with us on our email feedback@zrp.gov.zw. Talk to us on our X handle @PoliceZimbabwe. Follow and like us on our Facebook page, Zimbabwe Republic Police. You can also watch all Crime and Road Safety Watch episodes on the ZRP YouTube channel, Zimbabwe Republic Police. It really has been a pleasure having you along. From the Crime and Road Safety Watch crew behind the scenes, the Zimbabwe Republic Police as a whole, and myself, Elliot Kudzai Ganyani. It is pleasant viewing and see you next time.